Hello and welcome to Tabletop Oddity, and today I'm going to be showing you something I've been working on for absolutely ages, but I am excited to reveal it. It's basically my 3D printed modular walkways that are suitable for Star Wars Legion, possibly other war games, but I made them for Star Wars Legion. The files are going to be available for free. I've been working on it forever. Now I might do a non-3D printed version of like walkways and stuff like that, but this is something I've been working on now probably like for 2 months. So I thought, let's get it up, let's get it revealed. Everything's like modular. You're going to have to do some work, a little bit of filler in if you've got a printer that's as crap as mine, a little bit of gluing. It's not just a print and it's done kind of thing. That's just the nature of it. A lot of thought has gone into it. And I'm not necessarily going to go through everything, and this isn't a tutorial. I'm not going to show you how to do everything. I think most of it will be self-explanatory, but I'm going to show you like the 3D files first and foremost. Then I'll show you little configurations that I've printed so far, and then we'll call that it. I might do like a tutorial series, but for now, that's not what we're doing. We're doing this. So this is sort of like what you could print. I haven't just showed you the individual files because they won't make any sense on their own. So I thought what we're better doing is showing you like an example of what you could do. I haven't actually printed enough to make this right now, but you can see, I've recorded this once and the audio was crap, so I've had to do it again, but everything is sort of based around this platform and these holes. There's very specific reasons for this. Everything is designed so it'll fit on a small printer, apart from the long walkway, but there is a short version of the walkway. Everything right now will fit mainly on a small printer. Everything won't use what they call supports or anything like that. Everything's pretty like 2D in that sense. It's all quite flat with a little bit of detail on the top, so that my printer gives me the nicest surface on the top, so I tried to make it so that there's always like a nice surface showing. It doesn't always work, but for most of the time it does. It all uses these platforms with these holes. So this is something you could make, and I'll show you what I mean when I say it uses these holes. So let's have a look at these stairs, for example. If I just highlight them all, let's say I lift it up, you can see it. There's a little like clip in there. You would clip it into that, boom, done. And it's the same for those holes. This covers them because it's got a barrier at the bottom, like on the supports the barriers, and it just slots in like so. Dum. And that's the same for all of the barriers. It's the same for the walkways. The walkways, you just print in a couple of pieces, glue it together, and boom, it would just clip in like so. And then obviously one of the key things here are the supports. Now the dimensions are, it's about 8 centimeters tall and about 10 centimeters like wide, and the platform's 10 centimeters that way, if that makes sense. Now you print these in like 3 parts. I would recommend gluing some of them together and not some of them together. So like some you would glue like this, just the 2 here, and then maybe you would use them when you were going up a level like that, because it's the same barriers. It's not like different barriers, it's just the same, just lifted up. And you can see here, this is what it looks like if you split them out and then you glue them together. Basically, what that looks like if, say, we just lifted this up, and you can see how it's got this 1 at the top, it has 2 at the bottom, so then it will fit nicely like so. And then you can end up with a piece that maybe looks something like that, and that's going up a level. Hopefully this is making sense. I don't necessarily know if it is. You'll have to sort of see it in action in a moment. The ladders are designed in a way that you can stack them. These are actually 2 different pieces. That does leave a little bit of a gap at the bottom. I couldn't really think of a way around that, so that's the way we've ended up there. That's printed in an easy way, so there's no overhangs when it's printing. As for the barriers, so what we've got is we've got these long ones when it's a long piece like this. We've got these short ones when you've got something like a ladder or a walkway in it. And then you'll see over here, we've got these little pieces here, which when you go up a level, they just nicely fit in the gaps. So there's 3 different kinds of like barriers. They all have a purpose. And and then you've got obviously your supports here and your platforms. Now I will be doing other platforms and that kind of thing. And I've already got immediate expansions planned. However, I'm also releasing this piece, which should allow you to put in 2 pieces like this. Now you will be able to do that just with the barriers, but without this piece it'll look like that, which I don't necessarily think is a problem, but for those of you who do, then we'll be releasing that piece, which will just fit in. Now it should, in theory, hold itself in place, but if it doesn't, I am possibly considering making these barriers have something that like latches onto it so you can keep them in place. That's probably not going to be in the initial release, so bear with me. I will be doing this in like different phases. I wanted to get this released for Star Wars Legion. It's out in a couple of weeks. Things take a while to print. I've been working on it for like 2 months. So yeah. Now these things over here, these are, let's say you wanted to have one base all glued together. Well, you might want to use one of these because it'll basically provide additional support. And that's actually what I've done on one of mine. I've glued like one platform together because the theory is that I'll probably always have one platform just on its own, and then I'll probably link it up to something else, like either a 2 or a 2 like that. So I've glued just one all together and called that there basically. Whew, I mean, hopefully that makes sense. I'm gonna set up now. I'm gonna use my little camcorder here, and I'm gonna show you in the flesh. Now it is a little bit awkward because I've printed it on white PLA, but it doesn't really come out on camera very well. But let's show you. Let's see what you think. So here we have a very simple design. It's just one platform on top of another, but it does let me show you off like an Imperial Assault Stormtrooper. You can imagine him on the steps. They will fit as long as you've got like a little bit of something you can actually like slide into. And yeah, you can see what I was talking about with the ladders. These ladders are easily stackable, so you can have one on top of the other. You've got your ladders here, your stairs here. You can see at the bottom here, I've already glued in and I've got this little support, which makes it a lot steadier. If you just leave them like not glued, it's still like fairly steady, but it's just not quite as steady as having everything glued together. I personally am going to print some stuff, glue it together and try and keep it semi-modular rather than 100% modular, because it would be a bit of a pain assembling everything together. Obviously all the stairs and stuff like that you're going to glue together anyway, but there you have it. What else is there on this one? So I've showed you the bottom. We've got the little pieces at the side here. The light is horrendous for this, but let's see if I can put a bit of grey in just to get a bit of shadow. And we've got the long pieces on top because there's nothing in the corners, but on the middle piece here, you can see obviously we've got these like shorter areas, which is the shorter barriers here. And there's one at the back which you can't properly see. You don't really need them when you've got a ladder or your stairs in place, but this is just one setup, 2 platforms, all the barriers you need, stairs and 2 ladders, and you could have some computer consoles or something, and I think that would look pretty damn sweet if you ask me. So what I'll do is I'll do a different setup using maybe one of these, and I'll come back in a second. So I thought I'd just quickly show you a time lapse of me setting it up. It doesn't take too long, it's pretty easy. So I mean, there you have it. This is just a very simple configuration, but you could imagine we could have it like we had on the 3D display. You could have another platform above it and that kind of thing. I'm missing a few of these smaller pieces. I would normally put another smaller corner here, here and here. But that's pretty much fine. The design, you can print as many and do whatever the hell you like with. Everything should just slot in very easily. Everything should be intuitive. I've got more expansions planning coming in the future. You can imagine that this, instead of having like a walkway, maybe you could have that there, and then you'd have that platform there instead. That's all fine. All should make sense. Everything should print easily. Nothing should be overly complicated, and it's designed in a Star Wars-esque fashion. You can see that maybe this design is inspired by Star Wars, not necessarily directly lifted from it or anything, but just inspired by basically. And I think this will look good on almost any table, and it's free, which is great, and very easy to print. I'm really happy with it. I can't lie. I'm very happy with the way it's turned out. This one that's all glued together, pretty stable one, especially you have the stairs. The one that's not glued together can be not wobbly, but perhaps not as stable. That one's just the wobbly one because it doesn't have enough of the pieces. But I think that's what I'm saying. I would glue these 2 together, then I would glue the base together, and what I would use for the top ones would be just some that were specifically designed to go on top. Because otherwise, it's just not as possibly sturdy as it should be, or not as it should be, as it could be. Whereas if you glue everything together, it's pretty damn pretty damn sturdy. I was tempted to use magnets, but then you'd have to buy magnets, you'd have to make holes for the magnets and all that kind of stuff. This little clip-in system, I'm happy with it. Let me know your thoughts. I'll go back to full screen now. I sort of feel like this video's been all over the place. It's been quite difficult to actually get across what this is, how it should be used and all that kind of stuff. If you are going to use it, then do let me know if you have any problems with it. I've not had any problems with it because I've like refined it as I've gone, but you might have different printer tolerances and that kind of thing. The files will be available for you to change. If you know somebody with a 3D printer who's planning on playing this game, you know, send them this video. That would be great. Like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. I'm really happy with it. It's took me a long time. If you want to support me, then Patreon's a great place as ever. And I'll be doing part 2 like anyway because I'm doing it for myself. But you know, hopefully people like it as well, and that'll give me a bit of a boost to like crack on and actually do it. It's took me a while to get to this point. I know you might be looking at me like, it's fairly simple, Jay. Well, if you think it's fairly simple to design something like this, I would I mean, I'm not even being sarcastic. I actually really would like you to do it so I could just print it myself. Like, it's took me a while to get to this point. And yeah, let me know everything, your thoughts. I might do a non-3D printed version of this. They're just a little bit tricky for a variety of reasons, like materials and how you're going to support it and all that kind of stuff. But we'll get to that point when we get to that point. If you need to see tutorials, do let me know. But I think everything will be fairly explanatory, fairly obvious, and you won't really need much help or guidance. But it's something I might make like a private video if somebody needs to see how something works. I feel like this has been a very awkward video, but yeah, like, subscribe, have a most beautiful day, and goodbye. Bye, guys.